Hello, how's it going? I'm really bad at these kind of videos. I really hate doing them. But it's kind of an important time and I need to talk to you guys about some stuff. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw yesterday. I posted a video about Nobu, my sweet little baby boy. Sadly passed away a few days ago. And so I've been really quiet on social media and on YouTube for the last week. And then I posted that video yesterday about him. And so I've been a bit of a mess lately and it just wouldn't feel right to go from posting that video to just posting my normal stuff again like nothing happened.
Oh, hi, bud. Hello. Hello.
So I wanted to come on camera and I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about the last week. First thing I'm gonna do is I really need to give you guys the most sincere thank you that I possibly can for the way you guys reacted to yesterday's video.
Hey, bud. What's up? Come here, buddy. Okay, hello.
Can you guys see my lap? You probably can't see my lap right now. I got a boy right here. Okay. If you didn't see yesterday's video, okay, your nails are so sharp, buddy. You should probably go check that out. It's only 2 minutes long. Unless you don't want to be sad, then I guess you don't have to watch it. If Rocco winds up hanging out on the bed with me, I'm gonna have to change camera angles. Okay, buddy. Just a second. Just a second. Okay, over here. Over here, bud. Come on. Rocco. Rocco, come here. Okay, there you go, hon. Okay. That'll keep him occupied for a little bit, alright. Okay, well now he's not gonna be on camera, so that's fun.
Bro, just eat right here. The people want to see you, brother.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I will start talking about important things now. I want to say again really quick that I'm really bad at these kind of videos. For some reason I'm so good at just running my mouth when I'm reacting to stupid stuff, but when I have to just sit down and talk face to face, I'm very bad. I'm pretty good at talking to people in person. But like this long into it, I'm still just bad at just talking to the camera. The reason I'm with Rocco right now is because after what happened to my poor baby Nobu, rats are very sensitive creatures when it comes to family and when it comes to losing loved ones. And so it's not uncommon for a rat to pass very shortly after their partner does, because rats are just family-oriented creatures and they need their family, and when a partner passes, they can become very depressed. And so I've had Rocco sleeping next to me every night. I haven't let him leave my side because I couldn't bear to have that happen to him. And so far, he seems to be doing pretty well. So if anyone's wondering about what happened to Nobu, both of the boys, both Rocco and Nobu, they got sick about a month ago. And they went to their second vet visit ever. Rats don't live very long, and so hopefully there shouldn't be too many vet visits, but you know, they had some respiratory issues. They were sneezing a lot, which is super common in rats. And that's why with rats, you need to keep their cage super clean. You need to change their bedding all the time. Some of you guys may not know this, but every single rat is born with a respiratory illness. It's passed on during birth, and so the only way for a rat to not have the illness is if the mother is sacrificed in like an antibacterial fluid and the baby is cut out from the belly. And so typically that's not how most rats are born. And so the only rats for the most part that don't have the respiratory illness are ones that are lab rats. Anyways, it's not uncommon for rats to have to go to the vet to get antibiotics for their little sneezies, right, buddy? And so both of my boys were sneezing a lot, and so I had to take them in. And when I did take them in, the vet did notice something with Nobu. Nobu had a little bump on his belly, a very small bump. And the vet checked it out, and it wasn't attached to any organs or anything like that, so it wasn't gonna cause any severe pain, but it might limit his mobility. And hopefully it would go down a little bit on its own. Several weeks passed and it did not. It seemed to be getting bigger and bigger every single day, until when he passed it was like nearly the size of a golf ball. In fact, he seemed fine, he seemed happy, he was energetic, he was still running around with this giant thing on his belly, until 3 days ago I woke up and he could barely move. He couldn't use his back legs. And so that was the day that I kind of had to accept what was going on. and it was super, super hard. It's like I knew what was coming in the long term, but like having it kind of just thrown in your face like that, it's like you can't really be ready for it. And so that day and the 2 days afterwards was just me pacing around my house crying. Honestly, I didn't really know what to do. Nobu was still eating, he was still drinking, and so he seemed happy because, you know, with most animals, when they stop eating and stop drinking, that's when they're pretty much ready to go. So I wasn't going to just take Nobu in then and there, but the few days after that it got worse and worse, and you know, it was 3 days of me waking up and walking out to the kitchen to see them and not knowing, you know, if Nobu was still gonna be with us. And so yeah, it was really, really, really tough. I haven't cried that much since my family dog passed away like 6 years ago. It's funny, I've had very, very traumatic things happen. I've had, you know, in the last year, you know, I had a pretty traumatic breakup with someone who I thought I was going to be with forever. And that really messed me up, but like, for some reason, the loss of an animal just crushes me in a way that nothing else really does. I don't know if it's because we can't talk to them, we can't communicate things, we don't know exactly what they're thinking. Maybe also just because they're so loving. They just seem like these balls of unconditional love that you can't be mad at. I don't know. But those last few days were really, 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 really tough. And today's the first day that I haven't been a mess since everything. So Nobu wasn't gonna get better, so we took him in a few days ago and put him to sleep. We took Rocco with us because with rats, it's very important that if their partner passes, they need to see that their partner's passed on, because otherwise, if the partner just disappears, they won't know. They'll have no idea what to think. They don't know what to do, and that can drive them even crazier and make them even more sad. So, from everything I've read, it's very important that the rat sees their partner pass on, and so we brought Rocco with us, and it was a really, really hard thing to do, but I think Rocco understood, and there were a few times when he kind of just stared at the wall for like 30 minutes because I don't think, you know, I think he was processing it. But I brought him home, and I decided and I knew that I was not going to let this boy be alone for a second, and so I've been with him ever since, and we've been doing our thing, and he seems pretty happy. He seems to be doing really well. There are a few moments when it seems like things are hitting him again, but for the most part he's okay. And so I'm very happy about that. So the only thing I could really do from that point was I needed to make a video, a tribute video for Nobu. That's something that is really important to me. I did that when my dog passed away like 6 years ago. I played a song for her. And this time, since for their whole lives, I'd been recording little videos of Rocco and Nobu, I thought it only made sense to post a little montage. And the song that I sang on that video, it's so funny because I recorded that the night before I knew anything was seriously wrong with Nobu. I don't know why, because I never do that, but it was like 2 a.m. and I felt like I had to record that. And so part of me can't help but feel like that was supposed to happen. Like I like to just think that the universe kind of made me record that because it seemed like the right thing for that video, and I didn't plan that ahead of time. So I knew I had to make a tribute video, and so I did, and that was the day after Nobu passed, because I'm gonna spend every second with him that I can while he's still with us. I was so happy that he was out of his pain, and so the last real struggle, the last real hard thing for me to do was to make that video. And yeah, guys, I gotta tell you, like, going through my current phone and my old phone and digging through all that footage and watching all those clips of Nobu as a baby was really hard for me. And that was the last really, really hard part, where I was, you know, bawling as I was editing. But of course, if you're a video editor like myself, you know that after about 5 hours of looking at anything, you'll hate it and you'll have no emotions whatsoever. And so by the end of it, I was like, please let me just get this out. And so that was the last thing I really had to do. And upon getting that video out, I feel a lot better. I think for me that's very important, kind of having that kind of tribute. It kind of helps me feel like I've done what I can to show my appreciation and my love for the creature and what they brought to my life. And so now here I am just kind of giving you guys a little update before I get back into my normal thing. Again, I'm really, really, really grateful for the response that you guys had to that video. I honestly was expecting there to be so many people who just didn't understand and would be like, oh, it's just a rat, you know, kind of thing. Because rats are like so stereotyped and misunderstood, and people don't understand how intelligent and how emotional rats are and how loving they are. They're so loving. But I didn't see any comments like that, and so that like says so much to me about you guys and about the community that I've been able to create. And I think that that's a reflection of the energy that I put out to the world, and it makes me really happy and proud that I have an audience that's so loving and understanding and empathetic. Like, I hope you guys know that that means so much to me, because I do sometimes feel like I'm one of the only people in my field who really, really care about the impact that they have on their viewers. I think so many people are so selfish and so driven just for their own personal gain that they don't think about the younger people who they're influencing. But that's so, so important to me. And that's why in the middle of a video of reacting to bad haircuts, I'll go on a 20-second rant about how you need to drink more water, you know? That's just who I am, because I don't know what the point is of existing if you're not trying to make the world a better place. I don't know another way to live. And so seeing how kind and empathetic and wonderful you guys were in response to that video tells me that I'm doing my job right.
Hey buddy, you want to come back out? Huh? Rocco! Rocco!
I got Rocco and Nobu at the very beginning of quarantine, when there had been just a few weeks of me being home alone by myself. I live alone and not really talking to anyone, and you know, if any of you guys are, you know, my age and you live alone and quarantine hit, you probably know how hard that was. And so I went out and I got a couple of rats. And I had been interested in getting rats for a while, because actually my tattoo artist, he is someone who has rats, and he would post about them, and it was so clear how much he loved them and how special they were and how vibrant their personalities were, and that's what got me interested in rats. And I figured if I live in a small apartment, I don't want to get a dog, I don't want to get a cat, but I can handle some rodents, you know? Because the biggest thing for me is, can I give them the best possible life? So I got Rocco and Nobu, and they are pretty much what got me through quarantine and those hard times. It was tough no matter what, but like it would have been a lot harder without them. It kind of gave me something to care about. If you aren't someone who knows much about rats or hasn't really experienced them or owned rats, it's hard to really put into words or convey like how special they really are. They are the most sweet and loving creatures in the world. Like, if I didn't just distract Rocco with all this food, he would be licking my finger endlessly right now. I live by myself, and I'm not very good at making friends in the real world. And so getting Rocco and Nobu really helped me out and kind of brought me back to life and gave me something to care about again. And like I said, rats are some of the most loving creatures that exist out there, which is so strange because in every piece of media, TV or movies or books or anything, rats are viewed as these disgusting creatures that live in the sewers, and they're dirty and they carry diseases. And like, everything you watch, every show you watch, every movie you watch seems to have some kind of reinforcement about these stereotypes. You know, even like people who are liars or cheaters, people will call them rats. And like, I don't take personal offense to any of that. I don't think you're dumb or a bad person for thinking that, but I do think that you're wrong. I genuinely have never seen a creature that keeps itself more clean or gives so many kisses or is as cuddly as a rat is. They really are like tiny, tiny little puppies that you can get 5 of, you know? I think I've said this before, but I think I've always kind of had a thing for misunderstood animals. For example, crows are another creature that people view as these ugly black things, but they're also so smart. I myself am someone who has always felt like I've had a hard time fitting in, and I have a really hard time meeting people who I really feel like understand me. And so I guess that may be part of why I've been drawn to creatures like rats and crows, and creatures that the average human who doesn't really think about it completely judges and doesn't understand. And so obviously my boys they've just meant so much to me, and Nobu was such a sweet little guy. He was the first one who was brave enough to come out of the cage and start saying hi to me and start running around trying to rip at my ripped jeans. He was the first one to start dragging in pieces of newspaper into the cage and start building forts. And I really think that he was Rocco's rock for a very long time. He did kind of hold everything together. And he was just such a sweet boy. You know, I've never been bit by either of these guys. They're just the most loving creatures on earth. And so, you know, I don't need to go into any more detail of why that whole thing was so hard. So if you've ever thought about it, I do think that rats are an amazing pet to have, and in the future I'll make a full video, a more happy video, about why rats are so amazing. But I do recommend rats to anyone, and I know that a lot of people have been inspired to get rats because of my videos, and every single time I think about that I want to remind everyone, please, 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 if you're getting rats, please get more than one, because they need a family, they need partners. Rats are incredibly social, they're incredibly loving, and they need another rat. And so I just had the two, but once I got my boys and I realized that I was fully capable of taking care of them, I wish that I had gotten their other brothers, because there was 4 of them. And I always think back to it. I put a picture at the beginning of Nobu's tribute video showing the group of them, and I really wished that I knew that I could handle it, and I wished I got all 4, because they would have been even happier and they would have had just the best lives ever. So from experience, from someone who is super afraid of taking care of a creature, you can get 3 or 4 and you'll be able to handle it. Just make sure you clean their cage enough and make sure that you give them what they need, and they will pay you back every single day for it.
Rocco, come out. Come out, buddy. Hey, buddy, come here. Come here. You've been eating the whole time. I made a mistake feeding you so much. Come here. Come here. Good boy. Okay, there we go. Whoop. So Rocco's doing good. I'm here for him every step of the way.
And I'm doing good too. So thank you guys for caring so much. I'm not joking around when I say this, but it means the world to me. Hey, bud. Ugh, your nails are so sharp, bro. Can you please trim your nails, bro? Bro. Some things never change, you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, as sad and lame as it may have been. I needed to make this before jumping back into my normal stuff, but I'm sorry for being kind of inactive over the last week. After posting this, I am gonna be busy for a couple more days, but I promise I will be right back and things will be back to normal. So thank you for listening, you guys. You have anything to say to the people, buddy? You have anything to say to the people? Do you love them? Do you appreciate them? All the love and support they've given you? Yes, okay.
Okay. Mwah.
Goodbye, you guys. Thank you for everything.